Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt over here from EliteThrowsCoaching.com, coming to you today with something a little bit different. When we started doing videos about 4 years ago, as the story goes, it was totally by accident. The gym was brand new. I never intended to coach and do track and field ever again, but I had some free time. I had some questions come in, so I started shooting a lot of videos. And what I wanted to do, it's been about 4 years, believe it or not, about 4 years since those original videos started getting posted up online. And just like for those athletes that probably started watching when they were in high school that are now in college, every couple of years a college will, or a publishing company will redo their textbooks. New information comes out, there's better information. There are newer ways of teaching it, newer ways of saying it and explaining it, and they will go and actually revise a textbook to a newer version. That's what we're going to be doing here over the next couple of weeks. Every day I'm going to shoot basically a new version of one of those older videos, and I'm going to be posting those up on EliteThrowsCoaching.com. So the older videos that now have, some of them 100,000 plus views that have helped you out so much, we're going to redo them, and we are actually going to start from the ground up and go through this. Now the reason being, again, it's 4 years later. Things have changed, not too much, but some things have changed. I've worked with a lot more athletes. I've been to a lot more camps. I've talked to a lot more coaches at many, many more clinics than I ever had before. And I found that there are some easier ways of explaining these things, and there are some ways that you might be able to understand a little bit better exactly what to do. So we're going to start out today by explaining to you shot put selection. Now this still is probably the number one question that I get from beginner throwers who email me on a daily basis. They open up a track catalog or they go online to a track website and they say, there are so many different choices. I know I'm supposed to throw a 12-pound shot put, but there's cast iron, turned steel, stainless steel, brass. Then you have multiple types of indoor shots. What kind of shot put, what size shot put should I get? Well, to explain this pretty quickly, here, especially in the US, we have this idea that more expensive is better. So a lot of times you'll see a stainless steel shot put that costs $150 or a brass shot put that costs $160, and you'll say, wow, that's got to be better than that cast iron ball that only costs $45. When in reality, the more expensive shot puts are more expensive because a lot more machining, a lot more care goes into making them, and they're made from a lot more expensive things. Stainless steel and brass is a heck of a lot more expensive than cast iron. So what I like to say is the shot put that you should buy needs to be big enough so that you can get all of your fingers behind it, but small enough where it can comfortably fit up against your neck. So I brought a couple shots to show you. The first I want to show you is actually a 4-kilogram girls cast iron shot put. This is a 4-kilo typical cast iron ball, actually one out of my practice shots. And you can see that when I comfortably put my fingers behind it, I can't really get that pinky all the way behind it comfortably. If I stack my fingers up one on top of each other, I can, but this is about 100 millimeters. And for a guy like me that has banana hands, this is going to be way too small, okay? So if you're a girl that has really, really big hands, going with a 95 millimeter or a 98 millimeter shot put, a really tiny shot put, might not be best for you. In contrast, this is a 12-pound indoor ball. Now this for me has always been the perfect size shot put. This is a 12-pound true grip. It's a solid hard shell shot put where you can kind of hear the stuff inside shaking around. I always loved the indoor shots because they were big. I have a big hand. I can comfortably fit all of my fingers behind the ball, which means that I'll be able to get a big push with those fingers as I release the ball. I'm not going to be releasing it off 2 fingers or off 2.5 fingers. I'll be able to get all 4 fingers behind that ball for a nice solid push. And that's the goal. That's what you want to do. Now the question becomes, well, how do I know what size is best for me? Well, the place to start is with cast iron. Get a cast iron shot put. Your school probably has a bunch of them in the shed that have been left over from years of practice. Take that cast iron and realize that cast iron is going to be about middle of the road. If the cast iron is too big, you're going to have to bite the bullet and go with a stainless steel or a brass shot that's a little bit smaller. If the cast iron fits well, but you think, hey, I might be able to go a little bit bigger, then you can go with a larger turned steel or a larger turned iron, which aren't as expensive, but they're perfectly round and you can get them in a bigger size. Think of it this way too. If you had, for example, a pound of gold is going to be very, very tiny. Compared to, say, a pound of bricks is going to be really, really big. It has to deal with the density of the material. So you can get a 12-pound shot put that's really, really big, or you can get a 12-pound shot put that's really, really small. They both weigh 12 pounds. It's not like one's going to go further than the other. But what you need to do is find the one that fits best in your hand, find the one that fits best up against your neck, get that cast iron, and then from there, just experiment, play around. You might even be able to go to a track meet and borrow one from your buddy or borrow one from a neighboring school just to hold in your hand to see how it feels. A lot of them have the size and the diameter stamped right in the side of that shot. All right, so this is the first video talking about shot put selection. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to actually hold it in your hand and how to place it up against your neck. So make sure in the meantime, check out EliteThrowsCoaching.com. We have blogs that are updated from not only myself, but from guest coaches, college coaches, and local high school coaches that are writing things up there about training, technique, the recruiting process, getting into college. So there's a lot of information up there that's not in those videos. Go to EliteThrowsCoaching.com, subscribe to our newsletter, check out the blog, and see what we have to offer. Hope to hear from you guys soon.